You've been over there for quite a few months when I think it was September rolled around, and you were out on such a mission, as you just described, trying to take down this relatively high-level leader. And you've been given some intel about where you could find him, and you guys moved in to do exactly that. And what happened?
To make a long story short, we walked into a very well-executed ambush. The initial building we took down, they were not there, but we found a lot of signs that someone had recently been there while we were collecting intelligence, and we had found IED making components, and we were going to blow all that stuff up. Our snipers saw a bunch of activity on another building about 150 yards away. So my boss had me take about 9 members of my team, myself and 8 other members, 7 SEALs and our interpreter, and move on this other building where we had seen individuals come out of the front door and run across the street into this vegetation. What we didn't know was our #1 Al-Qaeda leader for the Anbar province. He had been in our original building we were in, and he had moved to that building. And he had about a 15-man security detail that they had set up an ambush line in the vegetation across the street. And those individuals we saw go out the door were the last part of his security detail that were part of that ambush line. And my team and I walked, unfortunately, right into that ambush. I mean, we knew that there was enemy. We had air assets overhead. We had the Air Force AC-130 gunship that we were talking to, and hey, can you see weapons? They couldn't see anything. So, and we had seen this before. We weren't just walking blindly. I mean, we had seen cases where the enemy would hide, not recognizing, technology and things like that. So unfortunately, we walked into a very well executed ambush. My medic was initially hit, taken around directly below the knee. And then one of our other guys, Matty, ran forward, grabbed our medic, started to drag him back. Matty was shot up the right side, 2 rounds in his leg, 1 in his arm, still managed strong enough to pull himself and loop back to the tire behind us. There was like a large tractor tire, nothing but thousands of yards of empty Iraqi desert. And there was kind of a large John Deere style tractor tire. And then there was a tree, maybe, 10 yards away from that tractor tire. And DJ fell back to the tree. Everybody else was behind the tractor. I was still out front at this point. I was trying to lay down fire when both machine guns turned on me, and I was stitched across the body armor. I took 2 rounds in the left elbow, which I thought shot my arm off in the moment. I took rounds off my gun, rounds off my helmet. I had my left night vision tube shot off. I took rounds off my right side plate, turned to try and move back to the guys. And it was at this point that I caught a round in the face. It hit me right in front of the ear, traveled through my face, exited the right side of my nose, took off most of my nose, blew out my right cheekbone. What was left of the cheek broke and kicked out to the right. The bullet traveled right under my eye, vaporized my orbital floor. It broke all the bones above my eye. I fell in this newfound hole in my face. It broke the head of my jaw and shattered my jaw to my chin, and it knocked me out. The guys saw me fall and initially thought I was dead. Thankfully, a tribute to the SEAL teams and how we train, we don't leave anybody behind. And they could have easily said, Red's dead, let's continue to try and fall back or whatever we can do. But I was, pinned down probably 15 yards in front of them while this literal gunfight was happening directly over me. When I came to, I realized I was still in this gunfight. I realized that I was totally unable to do anything. And thankfully, my team lead, Jay, who combat experienced SEAL, what we call a JTAC. He is trained to coordinate airstrikes from aircraft to the ground. And Jay coordinated and said, hey, to the AC-130, we need an immediate fire mission. And unfortunately, we were so close. I was only 45 feet from the machine gun that had me pinned down. And that's well within danger close parameters. And the gunship said, no way we can bring this. We're going to kill you guys if we do. And so they said, hey, you need to figure out a way to fall back. So gunfight went on for another 5 minutes or so. The entire gunfight lasted about 35 to 40 minutes. Jay called for another one. They said no. On the third attempt, probably after 15 minutes, he basically said, hey, look, if you don't bring in this fire mission, there's not going to be anybody left. I got people critically wounded. We're running out of ammo. Like, you have to bring in this fire mission. It was at that point they basically put the onus on him. They made him give his JTAC designator number, meaning the training that our Joint Tactical Air Controllers go through, that basically say they have the ability to do this job. They understand all the ordnance. They understand all the danger close parameters. And they made him read off his JTAC number or give his JTAC number that basically said, you're acknowledging that we may potentially kill you if we bring this strike in. And Jay did an amazing job coordinating that. I remember him calling out to me incoming, and the aircraft flies at a pretty high altitude. You can hear the gun go off, and then there's a delay, probably 5 or 6 seconds before the rounds hit the ground. And I remember hearing the, whoop, whoop, whoop of the gun up overhead, and the enemy was still firing. So machine guns churning away, and all of a sudden, explosions occurred in front of us and blew up over us. And all of a sudden that gun went cold. That machine gun in front of me that had me pinned down went cold. And I heard the enemy like crying out to Allah, Allah Akbar. And I remember thinking to myself, stand by, man, like, here he comes. And sure enough, next rounds came in, which took him out, took other enemy out. Jay came forward at this point, grabbed me, got me back to the tire, got a tourniquet on me. I owe my life to him. And we ended up calling in, I think, 8 or 9 more fire missions before we were able to bring in the medevac, to get us out of there.
If you're like me, you're growing more and more concerned about the future. The market is all over the place. Inflation is at its highest level in 40 years. Interest rates are skyrocketing. Market experts not only predicting a recession, but using scary terms like economic hurricane. If you want to protect your future, consider the precious metal dealer American Hartford Gold. They can show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. All it takes to get started is a short phone call, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside your IRA or 401k. And they keep it simple. They are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. And as an exclusive offer for my fans, if you call them right now, they're going to give you up to $1,500 of free silver and a free safe on qualifying orders. So don't wait. Call now. Call 866-518-2955. That's 866-518-2955. Or text Megyn, that's MEGYN, to 65532. Again, that's 866-518-2955 or text MEGYN to 65532. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.